Thank you, Caroline. We have heard from a number of U.S. officials who say that Iran doesn't want to make a deal, that they are just stringing the United States along. What is to say that they are not going to continue to do so if we continue to give them extensions, now 2 weeks before 60 days?
What's up, patriots? Welcome back to American Resolve, where we stand for truth, strength, and freedom. If you're tired of weak leadership and appeasement diplomacy, then you're in the right place. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and let's get into it.
Look, Iran is in a very weak and vulnerable position because of the strikes and the attacks from Israel. And with respect to the president's statement, I shared that with all of you. And he has been very direct and clear. Iran can and should make a deal. We sent a deal to them that was practical, that was realistic, or they will face grave consequences.
Why is Steve Witkoff not participating in the talks this week?
I can ask Mr. Witkoff why he is not.
Thanks, Caroline. Does the president object if Israel attempts its own operation against Fordo in the next 2 weeks?
I won't decide that for the president, nor will I share that here. I'll let him speak to that.
And then just another one. Iran is apparently warning Europeans that if struck by the U.S., it may withdraw from the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. That would result in throwing out inspectors and taking the program dark. What does the president think of the value of having Iran as a full signatory of that treaty?
Well, that's reckless rhetoric, but I understand the Europeans are meeting with the Iranians tomorrow, so we'll see how that meeting.
Today, we're reacting to some deeply troubling, but not surprising, statements coming out of Washington about Iran, the Biden administration, and the so-called deal that's being floated around with a regime that has done nothing to earn our trust. Let's break this down. First of all, we have U.S. officials publicly admitting that Iran is just stringing us along. And you know what? That's 100% right. Iran has been playing the delay game for decades. They posture, they stall, and they negotiate in bad faith, all while building their nuclear capabilities behind the scenes. They are not a trustworthy actor on the world stage. They chant death to America on their streets. They fund terrorism. They've tried to assassinate our diplomats. And now, they have the audacity to threaten the West with pulling out of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty if things don't go their way. Let me tell you something. If a criminal tells you they'll go dark if you don't give in, that's not a reason to give them what they want. That's a reason to shut them down. The Biden administration says they sent Iran a practical and realistic deal. Really? We've heard that song and dance before. Every realistic deal with Iran turns out to be America bending over backwards while Iran laughs behind closed doors. And here's the kicker. They're threatening grave consequences if Iran doesn't comply. I'd love to believe that, but after Afghanistan, after the border disaster, after every foreign policy blunder of the last 3 years, forgive me if I don't hold my breath waiting for real consequences. Under President Trump, Iran was scared. They knew we meant business. We took out Soleimani, a bold move that told the world we don't play games. Now we're back to sending strongly worded memos and hoping they'll behave. It's embarrassing. Now they're asking whether the president would oppose Israel taking matters into its own hands against Fordo, an underground nuclear facility Iran's been fortifying for years. And the White House won't even answer. Let me be very clear. Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East. If they believe Iran is close to a nuclear bomb, they have every right to act, and we should have their back 1,000%. Instead of tying Israel's hands, we should be coordinating with them. Because let's face it, Iran doesn't fear us anymore, but they do fear Israel. They know Israel won't wait around for another deal that never works. And now Iran is threatening to withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which would mean kicking out inspectors and going totally dark. Listen, folks, that's not a threat, that's an admission. Iran wants the bomb, period, if they leave. Every right to act, and we should have their back 1,000%. Instead of tying Israel's hands, we should be coordinating with them, because let's face it, Iran doesn't fear us anymore. But they do fear Israel. They know Israel won't wait around for another deal that never works. And now Iran is threatening to withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which would mean kicking out inspectors and going totally dark. Listen, folks, that's not a threat. That's an admission. Iran wants the bomb, period. If they leave the NPT, it just proves what we already know. Diplomacy has failed. and pretending otherwise is delusional. We need to stop negotiating from weakness. If Iran pulls out, it's time to snap back the harshest sanctions possible. And if necessary, military options must be on the table. Peace through strength. That's the only language regimes like this understand. You know what real leadership would look like? Cancel the deal entirely. Tell Iran, no nukes, ever. Support Israel's right to defend itself. Bring back maximum pressure sanctions. Rebuild our military might and restore fear in our enemies. We cannot continue down this road of appeasement. The American people deserve better. Our allies deserve better. And most importantly, our enemies need to remember what happens when you mess with the United States of America. If you're as sick and tired of this weak foreign policy as I am, it's time to speak up. Share this video, call your representatives, let them know we want strength, not surrender. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the movement to take our country back. Because when America leads with strength, the world is safer. And when we cave to tyrants, chaos spreads. God bless you. God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America.